So, today for weaving, we are going to make baskets, which making baskets is weaving, only normally when people make baskets, they use natural twigs, sticks, plants, bark, weeds, not weeds, reeds, and they know exactly what to use, and there's different ways you have to soak them. But we are going to make a basket with the paper plate. Kind of cool, isn't it? It's basically the same concept of if you were going to weave, except for we don't have to connect it all together at the middle, which was kind of like what we did last week with those plates and the wall hanging that you made. But this is a basket, and you will be able to use it to keep stuff in, which is kind of cool. So, our basket, what you have is you have your plate, and then I gave you 3 different colors of yarn, and you'll notice that this yarn is a little thicker than the last yarn that than the previous yarns we have been using. So you may do your basket in any order that you want. You will notice this one I did red first, then blue, then green. Any order you want. And you pretty much will use just about all of the yarn. The last one you might not use all of it, but pretty much use all of it. So let's see. I think maybe I want to start with the blue, go to red, and then go to green. Oh, but I did green last. I'm going to do it that way. Blue, red, then green. Okay, so I'm going to set these aside. Now, you want to be careful that you don't get your stuff tangled. So I try to wrap them a little bit and make them loose so they don't tangle for you, but you might want to just kind of untangle your yarn and then kind of set it aside. Now, if you want to try to use the plastic needle, you can. This project is way better with your fingers though. So what you're going to do is you're going to decide a place to start, doesn't matter where, and you are going to leave a tail hanging out, okay? And then basically I'm going to do behind in front, behind in front, behind in front, which is, you can tell the same pattern over, under, over, under, over, under. It's just that now we're kind of doing it behind and in front. You will also notice that this is very flat, but my basket has, the sides came up. So what we're trying to do is pull it a little bit tight, and that will help your these, I don't know what these would be called, these little tabs that are on the paper plate. So now then you'll notice when I get to here, I've got my little tab, my little guy here. So I'm going to tuck him inside this one, and you'll see that, oh, nope, don't want to go that way. It'll just come right off. So I'm going to leave him sticking over here, and I am just going to keep doing the in front, behind, over, under, and you can see that it's pretty easy just to do this with your hands. Now, as I'm doing it though, I don't know if you can see how when I pull this, see how that kind of moves up? So I want to give it a little pull when I'm doing this so I can get it pulled, so I can start pulling my sides up. The more you pull it, the more your sides will come up. Now, you can see I've made it here. I've made it here to my little tail. And I didn't want to put it on this one because it was kind of making it just fall apart. So I want to put it on this one. So I'm going to stick it up here and make sure that my this yarn goes on top of it. So now I'm going to go around again, and notice how I'm pulling it up a little bit, and I'm pulling it up a little bit, not too much, just a little bit, so that these can start getting pulled up and start turning into a bowl or a maybe not a bowl, but a basket. Okay, now this time my yarn went underneath, so I'm not going to catch that in. Okay, so over, under, over, under, over, or in front, behind, and you can see how it's starting to get pulled up. Now on my bowl, it's kind of, I don't know if you can tell, it's kind of uneven, so I pulled some areas a little too tight, but you'll just have to kind of get the feel for it. Okay, now I just came on top of this again, and I want to make sure that I'm on top. Okay, so I am just going to keep going around right now and finish up with my blue yarn. Whoops. Okay, so I want to make sure that I have some blue yarn left because I'm going to attach these two guys together. Okay, you can see my bowl is starting to pull up. Okay, so I am going to make sure that I kind of undo my red yarn. I just got it in a little knot here. So I'm just going to kind of, see, they're actually pretty easy to get the knots out as long as you don't pull tight. Pulling tight is about the worst thing you can do. And this end is a little frayed, so you could either cut it off with scissors. I'm going to just leave it and use it to tie. So I'm going to tie that in a knot. If you need your mom to help you or your dad to help you tie the knot, get them to help you. Okay, so I'm going to keep going around, same pattern. My pattern doesn't change. And something else that you want to be thinking about is you might need to kind of push these down a little bit. Remember when we were doing our weaving, we had to kind of push them down. So you want to just check, and you can do that kind of as you're weaving. Okay, so I put this one behind. I'm going to put this one here, and then you'll notice that these ends are right here. So I'm going to be tucking the ends in just like this, and I keep this going here. So now I'm going to keep pulling a little bit so my sides come up. Now if I like how far my bowl is pulled up, you don't have to keep pulling. You're going to want to stop. And in fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop pulling really tight, and I'm just going to gently pull now. So I'm right here, and I want to make sure that goes up, and I'm putting that over. Okay, so I'm going to keep these guys here. Actually, I might stick this one over here. Okay, so here I go. I'm going to keep doing this until I finish the red yarn, and you can just watch. Oh, I'm back here. I'm going to make sure I catch that. Okay, so watch me as I do the red yarn. Okay, so I have my tail here, and now I'm going to take my green, and I am going to tie the green together. Once again, if you need your mom or dad to help you, get them. Otherwise, you can just tie it. Okay, and here we go again. Okay, so I want some green yarn left. Okay, this is going to be the tricky part because we are going to be sending this through these holes. And the reason it's tricky is because this wants to come apart, and it's really hard to stick it through the holes. Okay, so I can stick it through the holes because what I do is I kind of roll it in my fingers and make it smaller, and then I stick it through the hole, and now it's kind of like I'm sewing in and out, in and out. So I just put that one through this hole and it went to the back. Now I'm going to stick it through this way on this hole. Now, if this is a really big problem for you and you can't stick these through, you can put tape on the end. And I will show you how to put tape on the end when I kind of get to the end. And I still have all these little tails sticking out. So I'm going to squeeze it and then try to pull it through. So you can see it's kind of like I'm sewing in and out, kind of like those little sewing cards that you do when you're a little kid that are made out of paper and you get to sew them. And they sometimes make designs. Okay, so I am going to get my tape out, and I am going to show you how to put tape on the end of the yarn. Put it like that, and then you're going to roll it up inside the yarn like this, and voila. Okay, so now I have a little piece of tape, and now I can stick this through the hole. So that might be easier for you. You can do it yourself, or you can have mom or dad help you, or grandma or grandpa or whoever's home. Okay, so now I've made it all the way to the end. So you can see that I have these stitches here, and this will help your yarn so it won't come off. Okay, so it's kind of like a way to seal it. So we're going to need a pair of scissors, but before I do the pair of scissors, now I'm going to wrap this around so it came out of this hole, and I'm going to wrap it round back into this hole, like so. Okay, and I want to tie a knot so it kind of finishes it off. And I've got a knot. Okay, so one knot, and then like I said, we're going to need some scissors. So got some scissors, and I'm going to take the blue one right here, and I am going to cut it off. So there, can't see that. Now I'm going to take the red one, and I'm going to cut it off. Okay, let's see, I have some more. Now these are a little tricky, this green one and the blue one, because they're not locked in very well. Not very many, I didn't weave very many times around. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to send it back down, and I'm going to actually try to stick it so it's going down. Instead of coming up, I stuck it so it's going down, and then I can cut this off so that I just cut it off. And I've got a few little strings there, cut those strings off, and then I think I'm going to do the same thing with the red one. So the red one is coming out here, but I'm going to stick it down this way. Oh, and you know what? It just got completely hidden. It just hid completely, so I'm going to leave it like that. Okay, and then I've got this tail. Since it's coming out the back, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it down the back. So I'm kind of sticking I'm pushing this string under, you know what, and it popped out right there. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut it right here and then pull that out. So my string is hiding down underneath here. Okay, so there we have our bowl. Another bowl, kind of fun. And now you can keep something in it. Okay, have fun. And I didn't use a little bit of my green. Have fun making your bowl.